60,000 realtors experienced a crime in the last 12 months. 300,000 realtors said that they feared for their safety at least once.
We are setting ourselves up as targets.
If any technology you're using is not freeing up time for you to be a better relationship person, then you probably shouldn't be using it. Law enforcement is absolutely befuddled with the degree that we put ourselves out there online, just as you say, looking glamorous, looking wealthy, looking vulnerable.
I don't know how it's not a must type of product at the leadership levels.
That's getting help when you can ask for it. There's cases when you can't ask for help.
I am so excited to have Brennan Buckley with Tether Re visiting us today. Brennan and I go way back, and I will tell you, he is one of the leading guys in PropTech within the real estate industry, has participated in tech advancements in many spaces in our industry. And so I am certain that Brennan's going to bring a wealth of knowledge to us as we spend some time together. Before we kick it off, I would love for you to dive into a little bit of your journey around the PropTech space and real estate industry and tell us a little bit about what's going on with Tether Re.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for the opportunity. It's great to see you again. And I'm excited to be here and contribute. So yeah, I mean, the thing about PropTech and people that are kind of in the PropTech world, because there's a lot of it out there right now. And I found that people that are kind of coming into it with some level of real estate experience are able to lay out these solutions in maybe a little bit more of a synergistic way. And so I've been fortunate enough to spend a lot of years in this industry. I was the president of 1,000 agent brokerage for many years, and then helped found a company called Realm, which is a luxury network that's got a technology piece to the core. And yes, now I'm a partner in Tether Re, which is one of those pieces of technology that's really beyond a technology. It's more of a solution to really a shockingly big issue in this industry. And I just have to tell this story. I was at an industry event, actually at T360 about a year ago, and they've got this big annual pitch battle, and all these companies try to get into it. It's like Shark Tank, but in front of like 300 people, and they allow 16. And so I was there just as an audience member, and I saw one of our co-founders, Vanessa Martin, presenting on stage. You get 5 minutes. I walked out of the room. I called my wife and I said, I don't know who these people are. I don't know anything about them. I will be working for them inside of 60 days. And it took about 70 days, but I'm proud to be part of the team. It's not, they won that pitch battle, by the way. They went on to win NAR's pitch battle. It's the only company in history to have won both. And they last year got named an NAR Reach company, which means NAR has kind of put them in their incubator and made an investment and all that kind of stuff. That all sounds really braggy. It really just speaks to the idea is that good. Like it's one of those things you're like, why hasn't anybody done this before? And so anyway, that's a little bit of my journey of how I landed into Tether.
Yeah, that's amazing. And again, you've seen it all from the agent space, and that's where oftentimes there's a lot of noise out there in the technology space and a lot of new adaptations that realtors are having to come into, as well as broker owners providing for their companies. So someone that has the experience from the brokerage standpoint with agents, and then in the luxury space, and now into how do we create a product that improves real estate agents' livelihoods, to me, it's like it seems like a natural progression. So let's learn a little bit more about Tether Re, because from what you've shared, it sounds amazing, just that it's won all of these awards and accolades. So what problems is Tether solving, and how are you utilizing this technology?
Here's a beautiful piece of technology. I'm going to show it to you by holding it up to the screen. Like, there you go.
Yes.
That's real advanced technology. But I just wanted to illustrate this whole thing is delivered. This whole solution is delivered via a very simple app. And it's built around this concept of realtor safety. I think most people are taken aback. If you look at the NAR safety study, 60,000 realtors experienced a crime in the last 12 months. 300,000 realtors said that they feared for their safety at least once in the previous year, and 600,000 realtors met a complete stranger alone in a home.
Yeah.
And so I mean, people outside the industry can't even believe it. Law enforcement really can't believe it. And when you kind of pull that apart, it all speaks to this challenge that's out there for real estate agents. And so the solution, or a solution that we have come up with, is a simple, easy to use application that protects a realtor from contact to close. There are pieces, and just like technology in general, there are some safety solutions that are out there, and we applaud them all, but they
Mhm.
address just a little piece of the process. And we've tried to
Right.
look at safety in its entirety and the journey that a real estate agent is going to go through. And so
I
the first piece of it is built around verification, right? Leads come in online or whatever, and we're all in the speed to lead, go meet them, don't let the lead, languish. And so agents are rushing out to meeting complete strangers alone in homes. We encourage people to use the first step of our process, which is let's make sure we know who they are, right? And so you can put in somebody's cell phone and you can instantly get background information, their
Mhm.
name, like are they
Yeah.
who they say they are, birthday, known associates, email addresses, physical addresses. So now you know, okay, this is vibing, this is checking out. You can press a button and get a full criminal background check on them.
Mhm.
So before going out and meeting them, let's make sure we know who they are. And now that that's established, now we need safety into the field. And the basis of Tether is all around all of our agents are connected to live 24/7 safety monitoring. It's just like your home security system. We have dispatch centers across the country. And so a Tether agent is always connected. And if they are ever in a situation that they need help, whether they can ask for it or not,
Yeah.
they're connected to live monitoring. Our agents think of it like I've got my own security team with me at all times. And
Yeah.
because it's connected to an app, when you do need help, it's not like when you call 911 and you like have to tell them where you are. We know exactly where you are.
Oh,
It's
wow.
all GPS tracked. So that's kind of the basis of Tether. And now that we know that, we can look at the other features that allow us to keep realtors safe. The biggest is an SOS feature. So this red button at the bottom,
Mhm.
let's say you're supposed to meet a couple at a showing and just some guy shows up and it just feels weird, or somebody's been upstairs in the open house too long or whatever. You just press that button, a little 30-second timer goes off. And so I pressed it. I've got 16 seconds left and I'm going to put in my little safety pin and turn it off. But if that 30 seconds runs out, I'm going to get a text first, then a call from a live person. And they're going to say, okay, Debbie, your timer just ran out. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just got spooked by the dog. Okay, great. What's your safety pin? Give them the safety pin. Glad to hear you're safe. Have a wonderful day. But if that 30 seconds runs out and they call and you don't answer, we are going to assume you need help. And we will send police to your exact location.
Wow.
Just that slick. And it is unbelievable how it's all seamless and pulled together.
Yeah.
And so that's getting help when you can ask for it. There's cases when you can't ask for help. So
Right.
we've got things like an open house timer or a showings feature where it's just read your location. And if you say, I'm going to be at this open house for the next 2 hours, if suddenly you are 100 yards away and then a half a mile away and then a mile away from that open house, we're going to know it and we're going to reach out. It's got a crash feature and a impact feature. So if you're in a physical altercation or a car crash, again, it will know that using the technology in the phone and reach out to you and make sure you're okay. And the last thing I'll just mention, we have some productivity features in here that go beyond safety because we know that if agents use this for other things, they're going to be safer. We've kept it really simple. Our most famous one, we have the most unbelievable mileage tracker that's built into this thing. So agents now that are paying for these expensive mile tracker, we're already tracking you. So we built in an unbelievable mileage tracker that is incorporated. And then at the end of a month, a quarter, or whatever, you can just download it. It maps every single drive. It gives you a start time and end time, a mileage. It will even calculate the IRS write-off. So that was a long way of saying we've got a holistic safety platform plus some productivity features all built in one simple application.
That's great. Because so many times there's so many apps on our phone for all of these different features that we need. And the safety piece, I was taking notes as you were listing off all of the features, and I'm thinking, okay, gone are the days of the, hey, can you check the red file on my desk as code for send the police, right? No one's calling the office. Offices don't even have office phones anymore. And so check that box. The next one was, so we've utilized a product I'm sure you're familiar with called Forewarn. And that just basically gives you that background information. You could still elect to take the appointment, or perhaps the phone number is not still associated with the same one, because in Forewarn, it'll give you like, here are the last 6 people had this phone number. It doesn't give you that safety feature. And so for me, it's good to be able to see who's calling, because we are in a world of fraud. And I know I have had times where I've gone to receive a phone call about taking a listing, and you go look the person up and it's not actually the person who owns the property. So it is that type of, it's not just about safety when you can do those types of background checks. It's really about, are you meeting the people you think you're going to meet? Does this seller actually want to sell this property? Which is what I learned. It wasn't when I asked for driver's license. They can even produce a driver's license, and it is not the person. And so, I mean, just being able to
Yeah,
check
you
that box.
for sure. And you bring up such a good point. We encourage lookup features, whether they're using ours or anybody's. Absolutely. However, we're very quick to say that just getting a e-verification is not safety. There are, sometimes criminals will figure out ways around stuff like that. I'm sure AI is going to get more sophisticated. And, the average criminal commits a whole bunch of crimes before they're ever caught and would ever hit these systems. So we can't kind of, trick ourselves into thinking just because we've looked somebody up, it's safety. It's not. It helps, but we need safety to happen in the field where realtors are interacting every day. That's where the real protection is needed.
Absolutely. And you look at too, with the evolution of social media and the push to be more present on social media, whether it's, through professional market trends, or you're the realtor that does the crazy things and has fun videos. That in itself has led to an attraction of criminals who go, oh, that person's nice looking, or that person's always in a Mercedes, or that person's in the area that I'm going to. We are setting ourselves up as targets. And so to have that quote security detail behind us, knowing that we're being tracked where we're going, we have access to a button if we need it. We don't even have to call anyone. We can just dismiss the call, and the other person doesn't even know that anything's happening.
Yeah.
That to me is like security detail at its finest. And then throw in the mileage, you got IRS security detail, and who doesn't need that?
We've had a couple of false alarms, right? Where somebody will hit the button and didn't mean to or whatever. And we've got checks and balances in there, but we actually love it. And the agents love it too. The police show up, and we have agents that get like selfies with the police when they show up. And every single time the police say the same thing. Thank goodness you guys are finally doing something as an industry. Like,
Right.
law enforcement is absolutely befuddled with the degree that we put ourselves out there online, just as you say, looking glamorous, looking
Yes.
wealthy, looking vulnerable,
Yes.
and telling people exactly where we're going to be at a very specific time, and then having absolutely no safety precautions when we've
Mhm.
invited complete strangers to come see us.
Yes.
So law enforcement is very quick to say, yeah, thank goodness you guys are finally doing something. So
Yeah.
it's kind of been an interesting thing to observe.
Yeah, well, and I can say too, I've been in the real estate industry for over 2 decades, and I remember when I first got in the industry, open houses was my shtick, right? That's where I went and I built my business, and there were times where I would feel very uncomfortable with someone coming in the home, to the point that I would stay downstairs, let them go do their whatever they're doing upstairs, and come back down, and then they would leave and lock the door. And so just having that to know that you're right. I'm on social media now saying, "Meet me at 123 Banana Street today from 1 to 3. I'll be here all by myself with some great snacks." That's just like an invitation for people to see. what we're up to and who's here. And so I mean, I wholeheartedly we do need safety. And also, as you know, and I think COVID really changed this, where we used to have all these buyer and seller consults at the office. We would really encourage the client to come in, sit down with us, learn about the process, get some agency signed or whatever it is that we were doing. And now it is more of, like you said, speed to lead, Zillow instant showings, right? And we're in our cars like, gotta make the money, gotta make the money. And we don't even know who's on the other side of that gotta make the money. And we show up.
You bring up such a good point, and in open houses in particular, again, we believe in lookups. Look people up in our system or any system, but lookups don't don't give you any protection in an open house, right? When it's complete strangers walking in. We've heard from so many realtors that are using Tether, and we're growing really quickly, and we're blessed, and we're happy to provide safety. But a theme that we really didn't predict that is happening a lot is realtors are telling us, the safety is great, and we know we may never need it, or hopefully we'll never need those features, but just having them there is almost a
Mhm.
mental health.
Yes.
You ask any realtor that has ever had a stalker or some creeper out there. I mean, it's terrifying, and people
Yes.
aren't sleeping, and it's bleeding into all. We've heard the words warm blanket, right? Tether
Mhm.
feels a little bit like a warm blanket for
Mhm.
people that are out there. Again, you may never need, and we hope you never need these features, but just having them, like, okay, it calms me down a little bit.
Yeah, and I can say learning more about it for me, it I don't know how it's not a must type of product at the leadership levels, because over the years, it's been more of a risk management piece, in that you're signing up for this role. There is risk involved, and here are a couple of things that we implement as safety for our office policies that you need to implement. And you're right, that warm blanket feeling, um, it creeps in because we are putting ourselves at risk. And then as we're layering in these additional technologies from a brokerage or MLS standpoint, which is where we're seeing a lot of this flow in, how can they look at it differently? Or who is your target client that then can get this type of product out to the masses?
So I mentioned NAR and us becoming a reach company, and we're so blessed and really excited that partnership has been wonderful. It's really kind of helped us look at things a little bit differently. Our primary folks that we're talking to are associations and MLSs. We're kind of living in a world now where obviously everything's in flux, and that world is, I think there's a lot of conversation going on about both of those. And so we are approaching MLSs and associations and saying, we will. By the way, Tether is so shockingly affordable that every time anybody hears about it, they almost can't believe it. And we've made it even more affordable if an association or an MLS or a brokerage will pay for and provide it for all of their members. And so it becomes an extremely affordable member benefit. And that's really what's happening. And so, like I said, things are starting to move very quickly now. We're in the entire MetroTex Association of Realtors now provides and pays for Tether for any of their 37,000 members that sign up for it. We are there, and there's a lot more of those that are in market. And I don't think I can announce, but there's three extremely large markets that are all bringing Tether as a paid member benefit. So we'll be announcing those in the coming days.
Yeah.
So long answer to a short question, Debbie. It's associations and MLSs. Brokerages are certainly reaching out, and we absolutely will work with large brokerages as well. At the end of the day, we just want to get this in the hands of as many people as humanly possible. And I'll also say, and we're very proud of this. We have, I'm sure there's a term for it, but I'll just say universal pricing, meaning, an association of 50,000 or an association of 100 has the exact same opportunity to bring this at affordable pricing to everybody. We are, I guess I'd say number agnostic. Everybody should have a right to affordable safety. And so that's the way we've chosen to go to market.
And you have to look at it as what dollar amount would you put on your life or an instance, right? Because it doesn't even have to be someone attacked you at an open house. Like you said, it's got crash detection. It's got notifications if you move away from where you're signifying that you're going to be. And at what dollar amount do you put on that piece?
This industry hasn't talked about safety as much as they should have. I think it's going to change. I really do. I think we're living in a kind of a news cycle right now where there's just so much noise. Crimes are happening so much, they're not even making it to the news anymore.
Mhm,
It used to be like, when there was a violent crime against a realtor, you'd hear about it.
mhm.
They're happening. If you want to be terrified, sign up for realtor safety or realtor crime on Google Alerts, and you'll get them all. And it's shocking how much of this stuff is happening. So anyway, those conversations I think are going to start to get elevated more and more. And yeah, I mean, it's impossible to put a price. Um, like I said, we are jaw-droppingly affordable.
Mhm.
But even beyond that, the mileage tracker alone and what agents are investing in their own personal mileage. I've had agents come up to me. I was just at down at NAR, and an agent said, "Oh, Tether. Oh, we love you guys. You guys are that mileage tracking company. Now, don't you have like a safety feature too?" And I'm like, yes, but we're really a safety company that has a mileage tracking feature. I mean, it was a compliment for sure, but the mileage tracker is that good.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm sitting here thinking, well, I have 3 apps that, are the circumference of some of what Tether does, and the more I'm learning, I just need to chalk those 3 apps and then sign on with Tether.
Well, there's another one too coming, Debbie, that's an expense tracker where you take a picture of a receipt and we use AI and it will categorize everything on the receipt and drop them into their respective buckets. So, for all these agents that are using their iPhones to take pictures and just, having
Yes.
receipts and
Yeah.
that's all, and it's all free. It's all included with your Tether subscription.
That's incredible because it is about how do we get it into a one called one-stop shop or into a mini intranet, and that's been the biggest challenge with real estate across the board over the last I mean, really over the last 15 to 20 years is as they started rolling out one thing, it became a different service for everything that we do, and so we've got 19 logins, and then they make you change the password every 3 months to something you've never used before, and then you're expected to remember it, and so it's just like, how do we calm some of that? Because that leads me into my next point is around agent adoption. So often, like you said, they're talking and giving you kudos for the mileage tracker. How do you impress upon an MLS or a board that agent adoption is in this sense mandatory and that it is safety and all these other features, not here's your mileage tracker. And oh, by the way, you can be safe if you feel like it. Mr. Macho Man.
Exactly.
But
Right.
it's agent
No,
adoption because we're so inundated with apps.
it's a real challenge in this industry. We're dealing with realtors that are busy, they're independent contractors. They've got a million, I mean, just managing a real estate transaction and client but now we've got all these tools. I remember once, this is going back a few years, but when I was leading the brokerage, and I could sense that our agents were getting tech fatigue or app fatigue. And I remember standing up in a big company meeting where we typically roll out, associations and brokerages are all like, we got to add more, we got to add more, we got to add
Yes.
more. And I remember standing up and saying, okay, I've got some great news. We have nothing new to roll out to you this year. And like the place erupted in cheers. Like they're like, thank God.
Thank
So
you.
I think we all are, as leaders, I think we're all feeling like we've got to add more. We've got to show our value. Like somebody's trying to blah, blah, blah. And it's all true to an extent. But I think adding value looks differently today than it used to. And one of the things relative to tech and prop tech is simplifying things. Whether you're able to condense technology into one place, whether you're able to anything that takes that burden, just as you described, Debbie, off a realtor to have to remember 19 pieces of tech, 19 logins, all that kind of stuff. I always say that, the science in designing technology isn't in what you put in it. It's in what you leave out of it. Like
Yeah.
start with that conversation. I want to create a product and what am I not going to include? Like if you want to really turn the conversation around, think of it that way. Because believe me, that's the way that agents are starting to think about things.
Mhm. Well, and they get in and it's got every gadget and, direction and this and that, and they don't know what to push on. They don't know what to quantify as the most important. And so then
For sure.
they just kind of don't do it at all because then, like you said, they're busy. Then, oh, we have to learn it. And it's so again, I like let's streamline to the main pieces of a business and see if we can get some adoption in that space. I look at it too as like, and you know this just from working with luxury agents and top producing agents. Yes, we're busy, and think about the how to apply that to a listing presentation to a seller to say, hey, it is our number one priority to keep your home as safe as we can. And so when we're bringing clients in, we're running them through this app in order to ensure that they are quality character to get to gain access to your home. And we do see that a lot, and we're seeing that in just higher end listings more so than just quantifying it as luxury, where they want agent accompaniment. And so who are you meeting? And you're able to say that you've checked it.
Absolutely. I think you make another excellent set of points. As the price point of a property goes up, the breadth of people that might be attracted to do something, nefarious, either to the property or to the agent. So the further into luxury you go, that becomes a much bigger issue. But also, I mean, think about it as a homeowner.
Yes.
It's okay. I've got my home open. Well, you probably shouldn't have all your family photos out, but let's just say I've got my personal touch in the home,
Yes.
and this is where I live. This is where my children live. This is, and how do I feel about, a complete stranger that nobody has any idea who they are coming in and walking around my house?
Mhm.
Like, no, 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 no good, right?
Yeah,
Can we find
exactly.
out who they are? Can we find out, make sure that they don't have a criminal background that's going to potentially be an issue for the
Right.
realtor, which I now
Mhm.
have a relationship, or are they, casing the joint? All that kind
Mhm.
of stuff
Yeah.
becomes really important. And so
Yes.
knowing who they are, and also a lot of our homeowners or sellers or buyers, they have a deep relationship with their realtors, right?
Mhm.
They're becoming friends, they're becoming
Yes.
confidants, all that kind of stuff. Guess what? They want them to be safe too.
Mhm.
Realtors out there, your clients want you to be safe. They want to be safe, but they want you to be safe. And so I think all that ties together in just, thinking about things a little bit differently. And
Mhm.
when you put it in those terms, like in the terms we're talking here, Debbie, it's almost amazing when you think like how the business is being done. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, wow, you stop and think about it for just a second. And it's kind of like, yeah, what law enforcement is telling us. Yeah, that's kind of like we're doing all that stuff. And it's a little crazy and not surprising that there are so many issues out there.
So I have you for just a few more minutes. And like I started off our episode, you are a wealth of knowledge in many aspects in the real estate space. So think about agents or top producers that you've been interacting with. What are they outside of Tether? What are they doing differently to win in this market? What different types of paths are you seeing them take to continue to be successful?
I'm seeing two common trends. The first is there, as we all know, there's a mountain of noise out there, right? And so, as it pertains to a real estate agent and what they can get distracted by, the best agents I talk to are, to some degree, just, I don't want to say keeping my head down, but keeping focused,
Mhm.
right? They are keeping focused on what they need to do to best serve their clients and to grow their business. They're not getting focused on whatever the brand stuff happening out there, or the MLS association stuff, or all the all the noise that's being generated by the industry. They aren't getting caught up in it. They are getting focused on it. That being said, the second trend is also important. And while it is a business owner, you need to be focused on your highest and best. You also need to keep in mind that your clients are hearing some of this stuff. They're not hearing all the noise, but there's some pretty big arm wrestling matches going on in the industry right now, and
Mhm.
they're making their way to the Wall Street Journal and to mainstream media, I would say. So What we always do best is we are a voice of calm and voice of reason for our clients. And so while we're being focused, don't forget you have clients that are hearing some of this. And the best thing you can do is just be in front of them and talk to them and be that. I'm even trying to lower my voice, being that calming voice, just like you'll be in a negotiation. You
Right.
need to kind of be that way up front and just be that voice of reason. That's why they're using you or working with you. So stay
Mhm.
close to your clients and just be the voice of equilibrium. And because I think we're all realizing that, there's a lot of noise right now, right? But
Yeah.
I've been in this industry, you've been in this industry for 20 years. I mean, how many times have you heard in the last 20 years, I've never seen this before in real estate? Like 10, right?
Yes.
So like that's never going to stop. And
Right.
so we have to kind of all put ourselves in this new, there's nothing normal about what we're all experiencing, but guess
Right.
what? It's kind of the new normal. Like it's going to be this way probably forever. This phonetic amount of information being pushed around this industry. I don't think it's going to stop. So being focused on your business and being that voice of reason for your clients, I think is more important now than probably it ever has been. And it's going to be important forever.
Yeah, and that's a great strategy, and it's interesting too, just being in the real estate industry. When I bought my first home, and I won't say when, because you guys will probably think I was like 12. When I bought my first home, we used a book, right? The MLS was in a book, and you had to go pick up the key. And so you think about the 20 plus years that we've advanced. This is the industry where change is the new normal. Like, it's always the new normal. One thing that has really remained consistent is the success of the relationship business. And that's like what you're saying, like, your clients trust you, they trust what you're telling them, and it's not necessarily an objection when you come in their home and they say, "Well, why aren't you with that company?" or "Why aren't you doing that thing?" or "I didn't see that presented." It's just a question they don't have an answer to yet. It's not necessarily an objection. And so,
That's
like
right.
you said, being the calming voice, continuing to build those relationships, even if you do utilize third-party sources for some of your leads and your transactions, the goal with those third-party sources is to create that relationship business for repeat transactions, right? And
Right.
so, um
If any technology you're using is not freeing up time for you to be a better relationship person, then you probably shouldn't be using it.
Right.
I mean,
That's great.
that's you just, what you said made me think of that. That's a kind of an encompassing way to look at that as well. But no, you're 100% right. Everything you're saying.
Yeah, and that's gold. If it is not freeing you up to be a better relationship business build a better relationship business, it's just a distraction, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day,
100%.
our time is all worth something, as
That's
we've
right.
come to. Well, Brennan, it has been wonderful having you on. Tell us a little bit more real quickly where they can find you. We'll throw it in the show notes also. Where can they find your product? And I'll have one final question for you once you wrap that up.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody can go to tetherre.com and learn about Tether. I would say if you're an agent, and I'm sure most of your audience are wonderful agents, and this is something that you would like to see your association or MLS bring as a benefit, then you can go to the website and we've got contact stuff there, or you can just shoot me an email, brennan@tetherre.com, and then we can initiate that process. Once we begin talking to these guys and they see what it is, they're like, yeah, we want to bring this to our agents.
Yeah. To me, it's one of those products that's a no-brainer, and, as many of my listeners know, it's not this is rare to have a product on our show, and at the end of the day, it's more than a product. It is safety first. We say that all the time. We say that to our kids, we say that to our families, like, safety first, and this is truly giving you that safety first, assurance. It's truly giving you safety first and some added features, and so, I'm super excited for many of our listeners to learn more about this product and again, promote it to your MLSs. Some of you may be on boards of MLSs. Just take a look at it and check it out because it is all of your agents are important.
I might add, Debbie, just one final thing on that. Our founders are Scott and Vanessa Martin. They are not your typical real estate tech investors with, they are, they're brilliant, they're wonderful people, and they are absolutely the best kind of gold-hearted people you could ever meet. And the reason I say that is because every decision we have made in this technology and what we're bringing to market is being done kind of from the heart first. And that's not to suggest that, we don't look at everything like everybody does, or there's not other tech and people leading with their heart.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to mention they have set the tone for this organization, and believe me, everybody picks up on it very quickly when they get to know them. Um, so anyway, it's just a great story that I think we're all looking forward to seeing succeed in the industry.
Yeah. Well, I know, Brennan, you are 100% a class act, always have been since we met. And if you sat there through a demonstration, a 5-minute demonstration of the product and declared, I am going to be working with them, I'm certain they are amazing leaders as well. So, I do hope to see you soon. I know Brennan is a master pickleball player. And so the last question is, will we see you on the pickleball court winning some competitions this year?
Well, listen, I hope so. I'm planning on going to one that has a big tournament, and I've got a partner all picked out. But the thing about pickleball, I mean, talk about safety. Like, it provided I don't like go headlong into a wall first, or, blow out an ankle. I mean, it's inevitable, but I love it so much. It's a blast.
Yes, I have adopted it. I'm on a team. We actually have our match this evening. And so
Oh,
there are
good.
many
Oh, that's
times that
awesome.
I see you in my head navigating all of the different the pickleball
That
paddle
was fun.
positions. And again, talk about safety. It's one of those things where you feel your Achilles, you're like, ooh, like there's no button
Yeah.
for that, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, well,
stretch, stretch. That's what we
there
all
you go.
stretch, stretch, stretch. Can't stretch enough.
There you go. It's always important for our listeners to know something about us personally as well. So I
That's right,
appreciate
for sure.
you and your time, and I look forward to having you again in the future. And again, don't hesitate to reach out to Brennan or look them up. I'm certain that you'll be pleasantly surprised with what you find. Take care.
Thanks, Debbie. This was a blast.
Bye.